Well, this game isn't exactly relevant anymore. So let's rank the chapter cutscenes! All 6 of them. For those of you who haven't played Black Myth Wukong yet, go play it. It's amazing. Go empty your wallet into Steam or whatever and beat this game before you watch this. In this game, you play as Sun Wukong, and you must fight through tons of opponents to regain your status as the god you once were. But none of that is important right now. There are 6 chapters throughout the game, and after you beat each chapter, a special animation will play and tell a little story, and I'll be ranking all 6 of them. I know, the workload is immeasurable. I'll say this out of the gate and tell you that none of these are bad, but there are some that I think are just better. Each of them are animated in their own special style, which clearly distinguishes them from one another. I'll be ranking these by how much I like their style, the music, and how cool I think the story it's telling is. Game Science made a very good effort here, so it was actually kinda hard to rank. This game is genuinely amazing, and while I still love Astrobot for getting Game of the Year, I would have equally appreciated this game to win just as much. Also, all of you Astrobot haters out there hate fun. I will say that I have not read Journey to the West, so I won't pretend like I know every single thing about this game's lore. How I'll make this video work is I'll let the video play by itself, and then afterwards I'll input my own thoughts in and try to explain the best of my ability what's going on here. Also, all of these will be in the English version. Well, just the dialogue will be. And I know people hate English dubbing, which I think is a very old and annoying complaint, but the reason is because I know what you people are. You're gonna be having this on in the background while you play modded Skyrim. So it's in English, so you don't have to look away to read the subtitles. So let's just hop right in.
百卷情，千般缘，色与空，弹指间。轮回路，有万次劫，求不得，闭上眼，一生功名忙如烟，浮沉落花断不绝。涅槃究竟寻常事，有情处不远。口中念，心中言，现世报，却方便。修行路，无名情，幡动时，莫等闲。一生功名情如烟，最苦人物在少年。最是萤火情失眠，谈真挚，看见。
Master, it still puzzles me. A monk's lust for gold should be quelled. Why does Elder Jinche still cling to that one Kasaya?
Bereft of that Kasaya, how shall they show the world their ties are cut and their lust is quelled?
And last, I have Chapter 1's I See. It's animated with this paint-like theme and makes it seem like you're reading this straight out of a scroll. The story here is that Jinshi, who is the hidden boss in Chapter 1, he stumbles across the Black Bear Guai, who is of course the final boss of Chapter 1, and instead of attacking Jinshi, he befriends him and follows him for the rest of his life, turning into his clothing. At least I think so. Jinshi works his way up to becoming the head of the temple, and so is rewarded with a golden Kasaya which he immediately places upon himself over Black Bear Guai's red cloak that Jinshi was wearing beforehand. Angered at his greed, the Black Bear Guai possesses the golden Kasaya, burning down the building and killing everyone in it, including Jinshi, which turns him into the golden ogre thing we see in the secret area. Afterwards, we see Black Bear Guai talking to Bodhisattva Guanyin. Here, we learn that Jinshi wanted the Kasaya so he could prove that he was the head of the temple, so others would know immediately without any question. It's a decent story, one about the greed of humans. However, there's another about greed later on that I prefer over this one. Again, I'm doing my best to portray what's happening here, so if I get a point wrong or off, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But if you're gonna be mean about it, then I suggest you think twice before saying anything. I will say that a point dragging this one down for me is that the music here is far from my favorite. It just doesn't scratch my brain in the ways some others do. The lyrics of the song mainly translate to how life is unfair to us all. Each reborn offers a new paint to bear. Bear. But shifts to more personal messages for Jinshi later on, saying, "Empty is my life for glory and fame. Never will I be young again. The madness and flame is my bane. I see the passions, the pain." Obviously referring to the burning of the temple and the result of his greed. I will say that of the animations, it's the least flashy and eye-catching, but it's still very well done. If I had to give it a rank out of 10, I'd probably say, I don't know, a 7.
上，烈日当下了，周究一贯来到。
Men, beasts, Buddhas, Yaoguais. Each of them bears a distinct root from birth, superior and inferior. None should disturb what's decided. Am I right, Sun Wukong?
Now we move on to Chapter 2's Deaf Ear. Okay, I promise I'm not ranking them by order the chapter it appears in. It will switch up soon, I promise. This one is the only animation to be something other than a 2D drawing, as this one is stop-motion animation. I like this one a lot for that. This one features a much younger version of the boss, Non-Void. He's hiking up a mountain, and on his journey, he rests for a moment only to find a fox that has been caught in a trap. He frees it, takes it home, and nurses it back to health. Afterwards, he goes to sleep and awakens to see the fox has turned into a fully naked woman. He scrambles to give her clothes, and then the two begin to fall in love and live their lives together, even having a child who pees on him. The three of them then continue living life together for years, even sending their son off to war and back. Eventually, Non-Void comes home one day and sees the woman he married devouring their son's corpse and taking on the shape of a fox again. He then wakes up, realizing everything he saw was a dream. Looking at the fox, he deems it a bad omen and kills it. Screw you, man, that thing was cute. F tier. Then he continues his journey with the fox still wrapped around his neck. Then Lingji, the headless dude, tells us that we're all born with a direct path, and that path should never be changed. This actually plays well into the side quest in Chapter 3, where we meet the fox spirit that asks us to get revenge on Non-Void for killing him based on a dream. Afterwards, the poor fox gets to rest peacefully, knowing he was avenged. The music here is alright, cute for the most part, and then eerie when it needs to be when he sees his dream song be killed by his wife. What the fuck did I mean by dream son be killed by his dream wife? But other than that, it sticks out less than the one before. However, due to its unique animation and a more interesting plot to me, I ranked it above Chapter 1's. Probably a 7.5 out of 10, you know, whatever.
tarried in the mortal world for a good while, didn't you? Speak clearly.
Once again, I proved it to you, Jin Shansu.
You chose a means to an end, not to a proof. You sow chaos in hearts just for the sake of winning. How absurd and pathetic.
If not for winning, why debate over means and ends?
In fourth place, we have Nonsense. Chapter 3's cutscene. Don't get mad at me, I swear I didn't do this on purpose, but it's just the last time, I promise. Immediately, this one opens with some stunning water visuals and a shockingly good rope throwing animation. Never thought I'd compliment something on how good they throw a rope. Anyways, these fishermen capture this giant, turtle? Turtle. Yeah, sure man, whatever. Anyways, the massive turtle, who is apparently Yellowbrow's previous incarnation, will try to prevent the villagers from killing him by offering the gold and pearls in its bloodstream. This convinces the villagers to let him live, and he uses his powers to heal the sick and yassify all the women. On top of that, Yellowbrow summons a tornado of fish for the village to feast on as to never go hungry again. The villagers then begin to worship Yellowbrow as the savior of the people, even throwing celebrations for him. The villagers begin to capitalize on this and start handing out the pearls by a certain amount to each person. However, one villager's greed begins to overwhelm him and he rushes in to slice open Yellowbrow's stomach, spilling open all the pearls and killing this incarnation. All the other villagers rush in and their greed is shown in full force as they begin to take as much as they can. The villagers then start desecrating his corpse, urinating on it, and start having sex? Okay. Afterwards, Yellowbrow is left alone on the beach, with Jin Chansi showing up, revealing that the whole ordeal was caused by Yellowbrow himself. He influenced the villagers to start the outrage himself, really showing that Yellowbrow abuses his power pretty severely. He did this originally to win a bet, but since Yellowbrow interfered so heavily, he didn't really win it. Like I said, the animation here is stunning. I like how the visuals of the pearls pouring out from Yellowbrow's skin looks, as well as the camera following the man rushing in to kill him. Also, I had come to realize the music during this was very well put together, especially when it picks up after Yellowbrow is being swarmed by the villagers. It goes without saying, but I recommend listening to all of these with just the music to get a feel of how good the music really is. And if I were to give this one a number ranking, I would probably honestly give this one like a 9. And that is to say that I do think the next 3 are all pretty much 10s out of 10s. And honestly, I could understand any of these being someone's number 1 favorite.
You've atoned through deeds, Black Bear. Take this pair of eyes. You've served the righteous cause, Yellow Rat. These ears are yours. Your power has gathered anew, Yellowbrow. Keep this nose. You've endured hardships under eye. Go with the tongue. And the bull, it is the hardest to turn against a sworn brother. You can have his body.
hopeful. Your luck plagues your every step. Never have you made a good choice.
Save your strength, brother! We're yet to slay our way to the court and seize that senile emperor! This one must be the chief of their troop. Brother, watch my back while I go play with him!
Your reluctance is plain. Just like my own. They forced me to drink from the river of childbearing, to bear that boy in my womb. If not for that monkey, we could have lived our separate lives in peace. As if none of this had happened.
You're cute. You knew who I was from the start. Why'd you choose to be their lapdog? I never wanted to sever our ties. If kinship means anything to you, give me that relic. And let me avenge my people.
My king! Let the monkey have my fan! And there will be no trouble!
Your brother, I've disciplined. Your boy, I've given away. Your wife's fan. Today, I'll take it with me too. Find a master and serve the right. It's the only path left for the likes of us. Don't you understand, brother?
Wukong! I took out the bull's concubine with a whack of my rake too! Turned out, oh, she was a fox squire!
The way I saw it, with enough merit and a position before the Buddha, they would leave me be, and all of you as well. Now I see, for someone like me, staying alive is enough to be a transgression. Brother, take care of your wife and children. And remember, steer clear of my remains.
In third place, we have Chapter 5's Destiny. This opens with Erlong talking to each of the other bosses we faced in the past, handing out Wukong's relics to empower them. He also hands over Wukong's body to the Bull King, who is of course the massive bull that rests on the volcano in Chapter 5. Afterwards, we see Erlong with the bosses he mentioned standing over Wukong moments after beating him. The Bull King holds him as he dies in this beautiful field of clouds. He then reminds the Bull King of the battles they used to fight together, specifically the one against Erlong and the 4 Heavenly Kings. After their rebellion failed, the Bull King spoke to Lady Rakshasi, who reveals the Celestial Court had her drink from the river of childbearing, causing her to birth the Red Boy, aka the Yakshasa King. Burdened by the fact that the Yaksha people have been destroyed, the Red Boy demands he receive the fan so he can avenge his people. Only Rakshasi asks that Wukong receive it instead. The Bull King is then reminded of his defeat against Wukong, where we learn of Rakshasi's death and Wukong's disappointment at the Bull King's altered path from him. The Bull King becomes enraged and then transforms himself into the massive version of himself we all know and love, battling the court in his stupor. He is killed during this, then is transported back to Wukong's side, seeing him dying in his arms. During Wukong's death, we learn that the heavens hate Wukong purely because he is Wukong. This is all accompanied by some amazing music, probably my favorite song from these cutscenes by far. The animation here is also stellar. Like, I especially love when we see Wukong standing in the middle of the clouds and it's all like coming from him. It just looks so nice. It just tells a sad tale about a sad individual, and I can't help but applaud it. As perfect as it is, I don't think it is my favorite, of course. If we spent more time with the Bull King in the actual game, I might feel a little stronger towards him in this cutscene, but since we don't, I really just can't give him number 1 or even number 2. But it is still a very good cutscene.
What does it matter if you become a Buddha? That headband has always been on your head.
Keep those eyes wide open. Watch me rip it off and break free.
Soon, Wukong. When you defied the Celestial Court, I had to seal you beneath the mountains with my immense power. Yet, after enduring punishment, you embraced the dark, uplifted good against evil, and subdued Yaoguais throughout the journey. For your contribution, I now bestow upon you the title of Victorious Fighting Buddha.
He defied the Celestial Court, and the Jade Emperor imposed 3 ordeals. Only when the chicken finishes pecking the rice, the dog laps up the flowers, and the lamp burns through the key, the rain will fall.
palace!
Taking our silver medal place, we have Unfinished, the final chapter's secret cutscene that is only shown after every Long is defeated and you find yourself against Erlong in his secret arena. This shows the explosive life that Wukong lived. This is after he achieved Buddhahood and battled Erlong. We hear the Celestial Court commemorate him as the victorious fighting Buddha, and watch his life unfold before our very eyes. It's a thrilling and exciting adventure featured by a beautiful art style the whole way through, which is of course accompanied by some very slick and cool ass animation. This action sequence is not only accompanied by his friend Bajie, but also some very catchy music for his adventurous life. It's great seeing who Wukong really was, since we play as a generally one-note version of him the whole time, who never speaks. Between seeing him team up with others to battle evil, and even seeing him practice to becoming the very Buddha he is all very satisfying. All of what we see is what happens in the events of Journey to the West, which, like I said, I haven't read, but even then, I still feel like I have a deeper understanding of who Wukong is, and what kind of monkey he becomes. Then we see Pig Bajie fight— Is that Ganondorf?! He's then seen even pissing on a guy's hand named Rulai, or so the wiki says. Temporarily, we get to see him battle some other higher beings, and I love when music will line up with battle movements like it does here. Lastly, we see Wukong in a cave with all his fellow warriors drinking before going to take on the Celestial Court together. Then he turns away with the exaggerated swagger of the Monkey King, before fading to black in the sickest way possible. It just gets me so hyped to watch. Wukong as a character is genuinely peak, and seeing how he lived was a great payoff to finding all the secrets in the game. And like I said, because we see a generally one-note version of him, it's so cool to see who we actually play as, so that we're not like left in the dark as to who Wukong really is, for people who haven't read Journey to the West. Even though everything I've said about it genuinely shows perfection, like 10 out of 10, I have to give first place to the story that genuinely breaks my heart to watch.
初见的交通，
月光在惜别的城楼，
思念是眉间的痒，
愿念念望相思，寻常最长久。
汹涌如交流，
忐忑似轻舟，有你相伴，
这一路多么多么自由。
云卷
云舒
风起，
一种
从
立春到立秋，在那一刻我爱上你的所有。忘了是心田的沟，
记得是老套的酒。
指引，是相拥无言。
愿天黑画到你，总会说不够。
桥流，
宁静似轻舟，
有你相伴这一路，多么多么无忧。
玩耍
朝露
昙花
苍狗，
黑
也不过白昼。
听错了风，又怎么会有以后？
飘渺似轻舟，
清凉蒸馏，
你不放手这一路，可怜了要多久？
唤醒
或真爱中绽放，或者不是，永远无分下一世莫回眸。
真情
难留
假意
未够，
相守，
今生有求，
下一世相遇，
请别再会。
I couldn't put anything else in first place other than Listen Not. Chapter 4's cutscene. The beautiful love story between Bajie and the Violet Spider. At the beginning of this, we see a much younger Bajie back when he was still a human. He's a drifter, more or less, and he spots a beautiful woman on a bridge. He is instantly starstruck and wants to chase after her, only he can't ever seem to reach her. While he's blinded by her, he runs into the Violet Spider, and unlike with the Pale Lady from before, the two actually see eye to eye and feel a stronger connection with one another. But instead of focusing on her, he shakes it off and continues lusting after the woman from before, only to find she's already taken. He falls into a downward spiral of depression because of it and is eventually woken up by another spider who leads him on through all these hanging sheets, once again being fooled and led on by his lust. Only this time he's turned into a boar, which is the version we see in-game. This frightens the spider we saw, and Bajie becomes distraught at his new form. Later, he sees all the spiders in a hot spring and uses his catfish form to try and get a peek at them, only to see the Violet Spider once again, and they fall in love once more. They spend time together under the water and then emerge to show their true colors. Bajie, a giant boar, and the Violet Spider, which of course becomes a massive spider. Even though they're both a lot more crude like this, they still see each other for who they really are. Then, we see them separated by their destinies, the Violet Spider becoming harsh and depressed under the control of the Hundred-Eyed Taoist, and Bajie an alcoholic with the fact that his one true love is gone. When he can't turn back to her, he decides to leave to travel with Wukong, only ever returning to see her in the very chapter this plays in. This story is so beautiful, all helped with the extremely somber yet beautifully structured music playing alongside it. Most of the lyrics translate to how they feel about each other and how they want to see each other in their future lives. The vocalist really did perfect with this song in making me feel so sad. All the while, we see an almost Studio Ghibli-like animation to portray this. This chapter's story just hits home so well and makes me feel so sad and yet warm inside when I listen to the music. It goes without saying, but I again strongly recommend listening to these songs alone in your free time because they're just so good. And while you're at it, for at least specifically Listen Not, please read the lyrics. It's so good. The story of Bajia is a tragic one that I'm sure some of you watching have either experienced or known someone else experience in real life. Well, at least without turning into a giant pig and whatnot, but that's besides the point. Even though some other of these chapter animations might have some more detail in them or cleaner animations, this one has its style, which fits so well here. And I'm happy to place this beautiful story in first place. And that's my list. And before anyone else leaves, I'd like to talk briefly about the state of this channel. My first ever video was posted about a full year ago at this point. And actually, if it comes out on May 17th, then it will have been a full year. And even though 700 something subscribers is nothing in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty impressive for a single year for someone starting from nothing. But I of course wish to grow even more, and it would mean a ton for anyone who isn't subscribed to start right now. Now, I have just picked up a second job in real life, so I'm sorry in advance that videos won't come out as frequently, even less frequently as usual, but I'm really trying, and I gotta pay off college somehow. I'll still try to stream when I can. I mean, I still have to finish Dark Souls 1, and I hope you all will tune in when I do. Until then, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.